So I can't stop crying, so I figure making this video might distract me from what I was sad about. So I don't remember if I said that I was going to do the winglets and the legends in the same book. Not, sorry, not the same book, the same video. I don't remember if I was gonna do the legends and the winglets in the same video. um, but I don't feel like doing the winglets and the legends. I feel like that's a lot, especially since the legends are like super long and there's a lot to talk about them. So I'm going to start with, of course, Darkstalker, and according to that JMA server where he asks all of his viewers to answer like what was the best book. No, he did like rate this book out of 10, and then this book got like the highest rankings of all of the books in the entire series, which isn't surprising. So I think this is the most well-liked book in the series, and this is definitely on my top 5. I need to like make a rankings list of all my books, all my favorite Wings of Fire books. And okay, I need to like list them from favorite to least favorite, you know. I haven't really done that. I feel like sometimes depending on how I'm feeling, I'll like one book more than the other. But today, according to how I'm feeling, I love this book so much. My favorite part is Fathom and Indigo, because it kind of reminds me of how my best friend and I were in like 8th grade in high school, like the beginning of high school. And okay, there's a quote in this book that like really stuck to me about like manipulation. Hold on, let's see if I can find it. Oh, here it is, page 322 at the bottom of the page. He looked at Clearsight. We're talking about Fathom, I think. He looked at Clearsight. It could start as simply as a pair of enchanted earrings, a small shifting of the world, rearranging other dragons to make your life a bit easier, telling yourself it was harmless, for the best even. But once you took a step down that path, once you let yourself think manipulating someone else was alright, when every new turn seemed right to you, seemed justified, no matter how far you went, where would it ever stop? I think that's like the best line in all of Wings of Fire. I was like, wow, that is deep. That's because, yeah, when you start to manipulate people, when does it end? Because, okay, like, when you start to justify things in your mind, where does it end? You could justify anything you do, really. Stop justifying everything. Anyways, I feel like I should have more to say. Oh, about the part where Fathom and Indigo, like, you know where Indigo wrote a letter to Fathom saying, I don't want to stay here anymore, I'm gonna leave, when they were like in the Nightwing Palace. It wasn't Indigo, she was actually like enchanted into carved sea wing, I think, that Fathom made. Anyways, it was that. And then Fathom was like, oh no, what did I do? I must have done something wrong. Of course she didn't want to be with me. I should have known. And then, like, I could feel my heart just split right down the middle. Oh my god, that scene. I might have actually cried during that scene. That was so sad. I was like, I was so sad. Obviously I love Whiteout. She's that weird girl rep that I mean everyone needed. She's definitely autistic. She kind of thinks like I do, in like her weird not like evil twisted, but like different kind of way. And then you might be like, what the hell is she talking about? Or you might be like, whoa, that's a really cool way of saying that. And I don't know, you have to be really smart to understand her. And then this, the graphic novel, there are some people who were leaning on not liking the art style, and then there are people who really like the art style. I was on the side of loving the art style. I think this was my favorite graphic novel, actually. Now, when I was rereading the novels last year, I was on book 9, Talons of Power, and no, I was on Escaping Peril. Okay, I was on Escaping Peril, and then I looked up when the Talons of Power graphic novel was coming out. And then this was in like October, November or something. And then I saw the Darkstalker graphic novel. I think it was already out by the time I looked it up. And I saw I thought this was Mike Holmes' art style, but I was wrong. And I was like, oh my god, there's a graphic novel. I need to get the graphic novel. So I read the graphic novel before the novel, which really isn't the case for a lot of people in this in this fandom. And I have to say, Jake Parker executed, like, the storytelling was incredible. When I read the novel, I was like, huh, this sounds like a really hard book to make into a graphic novel, but Jake Parker pulled it off. The art style, everyone's like, oh, they did the C-wing dirty. They did, and why is everyone's chin so pointy? But I really love how stylized Jake Parker's art style is compared to Mike Holmes. Like, Mike Holmes kind of just looks like a dragon. But this guy actually kind of makes it look like it's stylized. I don't know what to say. Like, you can tell Jake Parker made it. Of course, Mike Holmes has his own art style. I think Mike Holmes has improved a lot over his years of making comic books, and this guy's just starting. He's excellent already. He is working on the Winglets graphic novel, like all 5 of them, and it's going to release next year in May, I think. That's so far away, though. I'm so mad. They could just release it this year. And then he'll also work on Dragon Slayer. And then, I don't know what he's gonna do after that. I mean, what else? I mean, I guess, too, he could write some more Winglets, I guess. He'll find something to do. I hope he does something in Wings of Fire, though, because I really like his art style. Oh, man, the art in this book is so good. I love this book so much. Especially, did you guys notice that there was, like, a hidden language in here or something? I don't know. I watched a few videos about it. I didn't watch the full video, but I know there's a hidden language in here. And I feel like that's a crazy Easter egg, and I also feel like this language will continue through the Winglets and Dragon Slayer graphic novels, too. Didn't Jake Parker, like, put names of Pokemons in here, though? I think that's what I remember looking at the comment section because I did not have the attention span to watch the full video. I think I was also taking a shit, so I had to, like, get off the toilet soon anyway. Okay. Oh, the book fell on the floor. Hold on. Oh, the page is bent a little bit. Oh, that's bad. If I just put it upside down, it might heal. Okay, now it's Dragon Slayer. I think this is the longest book in the series. Wow, I'm totally not crying anymore. That's great. This, okay. Some people are like, oh my god, this is the most boring book ever. I don't like how the people are the main characters, but also, you really don't have to read this book. If you don't like how humans are the main characters, then just don't read it. It's not as important as Darkstalker is to the main plot than Dragon Slayer is. Like, if you consider yourself a Wings of Fire super fan and you want to read all the books, then yes, read Dragon Slayer. I think it helps with a lot of, like, okay, it might fill in, okay, so there are, like, references to this book, okay? And then, if you don't read this book, you'll be completely fine, and then, yeah, the references will just seem like normal, I don't know, like, for instance, in book 5, Sunny, when she's in that abandoned scavenger den that was all, like, burned down, she said she thought she could hear scavengers underground. That's a reference to this book. Also, when there's that scavenger stealing treasure in book 1, and then that's when Clay and Tsunami meet Queen Scarlet, that is also a reference to Dragon Slayer. There's, like, a lot of tiny things that happen in the background of, like, all of the books up until book 14 that, like, come from Dragon Slayer. And then once you read this book, if you, like, really remember everything, okay, if you're a Wings of Fire super fan, you will, like, remember, you're like, oh, that was from another book. There's a lot of references in this book. And, okay, I do need to say it, though, it definitely does have a really slow start. I think it only gets exciting until, like, page 300. It gets exciting once Ren is in the stronghold, in Burn's stronghold, and then she meets Rose. That's when it gets exciting. Leaf, he's never really exciting. Ivy, she's definitely an interesting character. She's really interested in dragons. And I think that's so cool. And Violet and Daffodil, oh my god, they cracked me up, like, every time. They were, like, such a funny duo. Heath, I hate Heath a lot. Not only, okay, he wasn't written badly, just an unlikable character. He's like written to make you hate him, you know? He's god awful. I think Stone is really funny. Rose, oh my gosh, Rose is adorable. I love Rose. Ren and Sky, you cannot hate them. They're probably one of the most unhateable characters in the story. Like, I've seen Reddits, like subreddits about how, oh, Kibli's the worst character in the series. Platypus, the worst character in the series. But I have yet to see one about Ren and Sky. Ren and Sky are extremely well written. They have like such opposite personalities, but at the same time they mesh so well together that I think that's what makes them perfect. I love duos that are so opposite but perfect together. Let's see if I can think of another duo like that. Actually, I'll try to think of another duo just like that in this series. Blue and Luna, they're a pretty good brother-sister duo. Like, Luna's all crazy and rebellious and angry, and Blue's like, oh no, I think we should stick to the rules and not cause any trouble. I think they're a good duo, especially with how Luna talks a lot and Blue's like, oh, that sounds nice. I think that's really cool, and also how much they care for each other. That's also a good duo. Violet and Daffodil also a good duo. I just talked about that. I just talked about that. Sky, I think he's adorable. Oh man, I love Sky. I know Sky and Peril are going to meet, because of course they have to. Tui was like, oh, it would be a disservice to the community if they don't meet. But also, and Tui said she would explore this idea. She said that there's a good chance that Sky is trans. Okay, Dr. Seuss. Okay, Dr. Seuss. He is a trans male character. Because, and here are the reasons, because Peril and Sky hatched in the same egg, yeah? And they are identical twins, and it's possible for a mother to have identical twins that are a boy and a girl, but that is extremely, extremely, extremely rare. Usually when there's identical twins, they're two girls or two boys. So there's a good chance that Sky's a trans male. And I don't know. Tui said she would explore that idea, so that makes me think that there will probably be a book about Sky. I think, oh my gosh, seeing inside Sky's mind, I would be like crumpling from the cuteness if I was reading Sky's book. I'd love to see his gender journey though. Tui is so good at writing LGBTQ characters, because I know she hires someone to read, like, if she writes a lesbian character, then she'll, like, hire a lesbian to read her book and, like, make sure that she got the representation right, make sure she got everything right, and I think having someone read it for her and, like, making suggestions and telling her to fix some things, I feel like that always makes the relationship a lot better. Like, reading all of the ships in the series, I feel like the best ones are Sendu and Willow and Umber and Mulberry, and they are both gay characters. Those are all gay ships, gay and lesbian ships. And also, I see a lot more, especially lesbian ships show up in the series. So, the series is definitely going into a more queer direction. I keep slipping up when I talk. That's not good. It's not good. What else is gonna say? Oh yeah, there's Axolotl. Axolotl is like the first trans character in the series, so there's already, but Axolotl is also non-binary, so like that's also trans non-binary. And fun fact, Axolotl being in Wings of Fire, that like taught me about what being non-binary is. That's a fun fact. I didn't know what non-binary people were before I read Axolotl in Wings of Fire. And then I love how casual it was. Sky was like, oh, is Axolotl a boy human or a girl human? And then Ren was like, I don't know, neither, both. They use they and them pronouns. And then Sky was like, oh, okay. That was all. And then some people are like, oh, they should have made a bigger deal out of that because there are no other non-binary characters in the series, so Sky should have been more confused. But I love how Sky wasn't confused. Sky was like, oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Awesome. That makes perfect sense. And I love that. And I was so jealous of Axolotl on my first read through because I was like, what? I want to use they, them pronoun. That's like a dream come true. I want to be like, Axolotl's so cool. I want to see what Axolotl looks like in book 15 because it's like, you know, Axolotl, Ocelot, like the characters, and Cottonmouth. I want to see, because didn't they live underground? Didn't they live underground their whole lives? They've, like, never seen the light of day, right? So I wonder if they have, like, super, super, super pale skin, because they're probably really vitamin D deficient. That probably causes, like, a lot of diseases, right? Doesn't it cause, like, goiters or something? Or is that, like, a different thing? Or, like, doesn't it make your bones... Yeah, I think a vitamin D deficiency causes goiters, right? I don't know. Doesn't vitamin D have something to do with the bones? I gotta look it up real quick. I just looked it up and I got rickets and goiters confused. So I meant rickets. So goiters is actually from an iodine deficiency, and then goiters is from iodine deficiency, and then rickets is vitamin D deficiency when your bones like curve or something because like they can't stay hard, they like become soft or something. I don't know, I didn't really research into it. Don't take that as like what rickets actually is. Like, actually look at what rickets is if you're curious. But I think it has something to do with your legs and like your bone curves because it can't hold up the weight of your body. I think it's that. Anyways, yes, I wonder if all of the people in Ivy's village and Axolotl's village have rickets because they're never outside. Maybe I think food has vitamin D. Wait, how does Ivy have food in her village? I feel like there was like a sentence about how food gets down there, and it had something to do with her mom like growing plants in a cave. I don't know. Someone has to go read the book and find out for me. And also, I am so interested to find out what the Dragon's Lair graphic novel is going to look like, because there are dragons that go rah 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 rah, and then and then is it actually just going to be a speech bubble saying rah 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 rah? That'd be really funny. And especially the murder basket scene, or Ren is talking to Deathbringer, and then there's like sort of like a lost in translation thing with Deathbringer's name. I wonder how that will be written out, because Deathbringer's speech bubble will be saying rah rah. He's like, no, my name is rah 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 rah. And then Ren is like, murder basket? And then Deathbringer's like, no, rah 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 rah. And then Ren's like, okay, I'm just gonna call you murder basket. Like, will Deathbringer's speech bubble say, my name is Deathbringer? Or will his speech bubble say, no, my name is rah 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 rah? I don't know why that like pops into my mind so much, but I feel like that's a good point. Jay Parker has to like do a lot of thinking if he really wants to get that scene down. I really hope he doesn't like remove the scene completely, because that would be really sad. Murder basket's really funny.